Yashala. I'm saying come Yashala. Ay, come Yashala. Rise is real. Rise is real. I pray to God I will wake up. He answered me now that I woke up. I feel like I gotta say something. I gotta try to erase out all of they lies, all the fake stuff. The shit that they told us was made up.
What's the word? Contradictions you think you may have found. Hey, brother, can I ask you a quick question? How you doing today? I just want to ask you a quick question real quick. Yeah.
Peace, bro. What's up, brother?
You believe in the Bible? That's my question.
Find your truth, brother.
So, I'm what you call a logical person. So it's like I'm more of a believe what you see in a person, but I'm also not the type of person to trust someone their beliefs in the truth because you don't know what's true. Alright? I'm not a typical person. I'm also like I am interested in religion and I like to like study all religion. And it's like I'm always looking.
So you say you're a logical person, right? All right, so can a brother go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse number 58. I'm sorry, 49.
Khan, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
All right, so what does that sound like? As one group of people, one nation of people, they're going to have another nation come from a different side of the earth, a different landmass. And they're going to come speaking a language that they don't know, and they're going to take you into slavery. What does that sound like? What type of history is that? Am I ringing the bell?
I want to say
The Holocaust? Where go to verse number 68.
Verse 68, it says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So pause. Before we read this next one, right? Moses was famous for what? Freeing the Israelites from Egypt and slavery with the 10 plagues and speaking to Pharaoh, right? So this is Moses speaking. You know who Moses is, though. This is Moses speaking to the Israelites out of they were delivered from slavery in Egypt. He's saying, Moses right here is saying, if you don't keep God's commandments, you're gonna have another nation come to you, like with the verse we said. Then you're not gonna know what language they're speaking, and then they're gonna take you into slavery. And guess what? When they come get you, right? So Egypt is synonymous with slavery. So read that again.
It says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Egypt is synonymous with slavery. That's what they was going through at the time. That's what Moses is prophesying about. That's what they just got delivered from, right? So slavery. We're gonna go into slavery again. Read.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
We're gonna go to slavery again with ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again,
Yeah.
and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So once you get transported by a cargo slave ship, you're gonna be sold as a slave to your enemies. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
Slave man and slave woman.
and no man shall buy you.
Nobody's gonna redeem you from this captivity, slavery that you're in. So what does that sound like? That can't still be the Holocaust, because those Jewish people, they are Jewish people. Those Jewish people have been delivered from them, right? Paid reparations and all kinds of stuff, right? So what does that sound like? Slavery. So whereas those people's coming to pick you up, you never seen them before, you don't know their language, and they enslaving you, and then they putting you on a cargo slave ship, taking you to the other side of the world. And then once you get to the other side of the world, you don't have any belongings, right? They're selling you as a slave man and a slave woman. What does this sound like? You don't know. So are you familiar with how black people got to America and the slavery we went through under those so-called white men or under the white people? You never heard this before? You never heard that before? You never heard about slavery? Look at this sound right here. You never heard about how the white, like this country being, not really kind of, yeah, similar story, yeah. You never familiar with this kind of? All right, well, whether you a logical brother, I'm showing that to show you that our history and, you know what I'm saying, our lineage and stuff like that is found in the Bible, right? So that's a very logical thing that you can see. And this is a seed to be planted for you to say, okay, guess what? I can find my history in the Bible. Is that something that you knew before? A little bit? Well, now you learn more about it. You understand that? So, is learning your history something you might be interested in? It is, right? So you can open up the Bible and do that. And then get morally correct at the same time. Does that make sense? Brothers got more points they want to tell the brother?
Yeah. So when your original thought of the Bible, what was your original thought of like what the Bible actually was?
So I know it has like a broken language in a way.
A broken language?
Yeah.
So basically what happened was there's many languages that were utilized by the people groups that wrote the Bible, right? But these are their historical accounts, right? So this is like a family book, right? Of a group of people who throughout their lineage wrote their records, right? And then when we get into the Americas, the so-called white man takes the book and tries to teach it to us from his vantage point, but it's the people's book. So if you ever look at a man like Nat Turner, have you ever heard of Nat Turner? So Nat Turner was a Christian pastor, right? But the white man told him he could only teach from the New Testament, right? And so he taught from the New Testament for a while. But then he looked at the Old Testament and looked at Deuteronomy 28 and things like that and realized this is their history and not the so-called Jewish people's history, right? And so as you continue on and find out, there are way more people that realize that same thing.
Right.
Somebody grabbed me Baruch 5 and 30. What was that, 2 and 30? Or 3 and 30? I think probably.
I got you.
2 and 30.
Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear.
Right. And so what's happening is when they get into their captivity, their bondage helps them remember, right? Because a lot of times you'll forget, like, I don't know if you know everything that your great grandmother went through, right? But there are certain feelings you have when you go certain places that might be like, oh man, like something feel weird about this particular situation, right? And it's something that's embedded inside of you. And this is the same thing with our history. There's something that's going to connect as you start to like go through these things and start to search through these things. And like we gave you our information. Well, I think he had it. But you can reach out to us and we can go through these things with you, right?
Right.
And you can ask your questions. And it's not going to be a one-sided thing, right? We're going to allow you to ask your questions. If you got certain things that you come across that you know is the reason behind your skepticism or anything like that, you can always bring those things out and we can clarify from our vantage point, right? And so we all about unity, the unity of our people, because everybody else is unified but us, right? We got, like you said, you're interested in religion. What this really is a book of maturity, right? It's a book that teaches how to be mature. It's not just a book of, we go to church every Sunday or we do this and that. It's really, how do I love this brother? How do I love that brother the same way? How do I love my wife? How do I love my children? How do I love the community, right? That's really what this book is about. And once we get back to that, we gain back our power. So,
right.
I yield unless brother.
I got a point. Before you go, can I get a Jeremiah 17 verse 4? And what we're teaching is that our history is in the Bible, right? Because what we call ourselves today is what we call ourselves: Black American, Black. Those names are not found in the Bible.
What do you call yourself? Like, where are your family from?
Right. So our history is found in the Bible. So America teaches that what we're Black. When you look at any point in history, you never see a land called Black, right? You're never, and by the name of African American, that was given to us in the late 80s, right? First we was called ourselves Afro American, colored, We was calling ourselves nigger, Negroes, right? We was calling ourselves any other names besides what the Most High gave us, and that's was the Israelite, right? And what we're doing is we're teaching our people who we are because we lost our identity and started taking on these different names that the so-called oppressors had gave us, right? Can you bring it out?
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse 4. And thou, even thyself,
Uh-huh.
shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
So our heritage is the Bible, right? It said we shall discontinue. That means what? We will lose all our ways, our knowledge of the Most High, of keeping His commandments, the land mass that we came from, that we were dwelling in. We will lose all that. We will discontinue from keeping those customs, right? Now we following what? We're following Christianity. We following Islam, all these different religions. We keeping up with Christmas, birthdays, 4th of July, right? We keeping up with all these different things that's not written in the Bible, right? That's discontinued from our heritage. Read on.
Continuing on. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knewest not.
So serving our enemies is me serving the one that's over top of you, right? That's keeping you oppressed. And who is that? The so-called white man right now, right? He's our enemy. We were serving him to slavery, pitting cottons, right? Pitting tobacco. Right now we serving him in our job fields, right? Whatever job you work to, I'm pretty sure the white man go. He's owning that, right? We serving him and paying taxes, right? Your president is always white, right? Read on.
Continuing on. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger,
Right?
which shall burn forever.
So we kindle a fire in the Most High anger. Now that's why he kind of casts us off into the land that we know is not. And that's here in America. But right now, we teaching our people who we really are. Right? Because can I get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37? Because we call ourselves all these different names that's not found in the Bible. Where can we look in the Bible and say, hey, I'm from the land of black? Or where is African American at? Right? We might think we call ourselves African because that's where our people normally come from. But what part of Africa? Right? Africa's a continent with like 50 countries over there, over 50 countries. What part do you come from? Right? Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations,
right?
That the Lord shall scatter thee.
So a byword is being called by another name, right? Outside of the name of Israel. We was called Israelites before we got here, right? Before we got here from the west coast of America, Africa, to here in America, we was calling ourselves Israel. We was called by the name of the Lord.
Remember, that's real history that actually happened.
Right, real history.
You may not be familiar with it, but before we actually got brought over in slave ships, that's actually how our people came to America.
Right. And now we serving what? Their religion, their God. Can I ask you a question? Jesus Christ. What color do Jesus Christ look like? Or what color they portrayed him as? A white man, right? Why is that? Because we serving their God. But when you can never find a white man in the Bible. Well, you'll find a white man in the Bible, but you can never find a white Christ in the Bible. Right? We're going to show you the real identity of Christ in the Bible. Watch this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So his head and his hairs were white like wool. Wool is a what? It's a texture of hair. What nation of people have woolly hair? Black people, right? Go on.
White as snow.
And it was white as snow, as like aged man hair, right? Like a gray white hair.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
What race of people, when they drink a lot of wine, their eyes start getting red? Right? Our people. Keep going.
Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now, brass is what color is brass? B-R-A-S-S, brass.
What color? How would you describe that color?
Brown, right? A shiny brown, right?
As if it burned in a furnace.
Now, Christ, he looked like a dark-skinned man. Like me, you, all these brothers standing out here, right? But the world paint him as what? A white man. Why they do that? Because they don't want you to know the truth. They want to keep you far from it, right? They want to keep you in a lower state and look at yourself as nothing but a black man, a slave, right? They don't want you to look at yourself and like, you know what? My Lord and Savior look just like me. And guess what his father looked like? He looked like him. It looked like his creatures, like who the world called Jesus Christ, right? But his real name is Yahweh Shah. Can you say that? Yahweh Shah? Yeah, see? And it flows off our tongue because that's what we've been saying all our lives, man, right? Now we just got to just bring that that power and that knowledge back to our people because it was taken from us. Right? That's what we're doing now. We're prophesying to our people, putting that knowledge back into them because this was taken from us, right? Can I get the book of in the NLT real quick? And can I get 1 Samuel chapter 16? Yeah, in the NLT. And verse, I think it's 12. And can I get Songs of Solomon 1 and 5? I'm gonna show you our people in the Bible, man.
One more time.
1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 12, I believe. And Psalms of Solomon chapter 1 verse 5. And can I get Jeremiah 14 verse 2?
You said 12, right?
Verse 12?
You said 16 verse 12?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 12. So Jesse sent for him.
Uh-huh.
He was dark.
Now this talking about King David, right? One of the mightiest king that ever was born, man. Right? The strongest, the mightiest, to conquer nations, man. This is how he looked.
He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes.
He was dark skinned and he was handsome. Right? That's how people. White man can't say he was dark skinned. Right? Go to Psalms of Solomon. No, this is his son. Right? And this the richest man. Right? This is the richest man that ever walked the earth and the wisest. Smartest man. Watch this.
It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
Right?
I am black.
I am what?
I am black.
He said, I am black. Can a white man say I am black? No, man. He said, I am what?
I am black, but comely.
But beautiful. Right? Only a white man, only a dark-skinned man or a so-called black Hispanic American to say, I am black. A white man cannot say that. A Chinese man can't say that, man. Right? Only the Israelites. We are the Israelites. Right? We are black. Can I get Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2? Watch this.
Jeremiah 14 verse 2. And their nobles have spent,
Jeremiah 14:2.
my bad, Judah mourneth,
Right?
and the gates thereof
He
languish.
said Judah mourning. I mean the tribe of Judah, they was mourning because why? They was oppressed, right?
They are black unto the ground.
They are what?
They are black unto the ground.
And when you look at the ground, man, what color is that? The dirt. It's got the same type of flesh. I mean, same color as our arms, man, as our flesh. So that's a dark-skinned man. It said the tribe of Judah, there are dark-skinned people. They has the same color as the ground. Can a white man say that? So this Bible is written about us. Right, I'm gonna show you one more. Get Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7.
Acts 13 too.
There you go. Acts 13 and give me Exodus chapter 4 and verse 6.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord formed man.
This the first man that ever was created, right? For the world called Adam.
And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground.
The first man was formed from the dust of the ground. Where do you find white dust at? White dirt. You don't find white dirt nowhere, man.
Cream dirt.
Right, you don't find cream tan dirt, man. You find dark dirt. Look at that, man. That's dirt. He said the first man was created black as you, as me, as his brother standing out here, man. Right, read that. And we got Acts.
Time. This is about Acts chapter 13. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets.
Right, certain prophets.
And teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
And that's what they call them.
That was called nigger.
That was called what?
That was called nigger.
That's mean what? Dark-skinned man, black man.
That's right.
The word nigger is a Latin word for dark.
Did you know
black.
Did you know that word was in the Bible?
Right. Yeah, exactly, brother. We looked that up, man. They was calling.
And that's the clues, because the people have been calling us this for ages.
As ages.
And so they're letting us know that we're the people of the Bible without telling us we're the people of the Bible. Because, like they say, if you want to hide anything from a black man, hide it in a book.
Exactly,
but
brother.
We want to turn that into a misnomer.
Exactly.
Yeah, you put it in a book, we're going to find it. Right.
Come on. Can I get Joe 30 and 30? You bring that out. So I'm showing you black people in the Bible, man.
This is Black Exit 4
right.
6.
Yeah, 4 and 6.
God, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 6.
Can't get Deuteronomy 7.
And the Lord said, furthermore, unto him,
right?
Put now thine hand into thy bosom.
No, this is the Lord speaking to Moses, right? He said, I'm going to show you a miracle, right? Put your hand in your bosom. I mean, put your hand in your shirt, right? Watch this.
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, His hand was leprous as snow.
So he said he took his hand out and it became white as snow, right? That means if a white man took his hand out of his bosom and it came leprous as snow, is white. Is that really a miracle? Because he's already white, right? So that's nothing new. But if a dark skinned man took his hand out of his bosom and it comes white, that's something to be amazed. Like, whoa, hold up, my flesh just disappeared from my hand, right? Read that.
Continuing on, it says, and he said, put thine hand into thy bosom
He
again.
said, well, put it back in your bosom, right?
And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom.
Uh-huh.
And behold, it was turned again and as his other flesh.
And it came back to a dark skinned brother, man. And one more, I get Job 30 and 30, and I'm gonna get Baruch 4 7 and 6. I mean Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Fuck it. Job 30 and 30. So I'm showing you black people all throughout the Bible. From Genesis to Revelation, all you find is our people.
Book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30.
Watch this.
My skin is black upon me.
My skin is black upon me. Even Job, man, the prophet Job said my skin is black. No white person can ever say that, right? But when you look at these religions, these Christianity and these TVs and movies, they portray themselves as white people, right? The Israelites, right? They make them white, right? That's what, to take the identity, the real true identity away from the real chosen people. Right, but this is what the Most High called our people. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people
But
unto the Lord.
The Israelites, right, the so-called Black Hispanic Americans, us, we are what?
A holy people unto the Lord thy God.
You know what I mean, brother? That means we're special. We're above every other nation upon this earth, right? The Most High chose us to be holy, separate from a lot of other people. He gave his laws to us. He wants us to be kings and priests upon this world. Read on.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right.
Above all people.
No, we equal.
Above all people.
No, we just the same.
Above all people.
He said we are above all people
that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Most High chose us to be above all people. But what happened, brother? Why are we at the bottom? Huh? Yeah, we got in slavery, right? But why did slavery happen? Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. I'm going to show you why it happened to our people, why we fell. Right? Why slavery happened.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So when the Israelites don't listen and rebel and just do what they want to do, what's going to happen?
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses.
No, a curse is a good what? Is a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing, right? So all these bad things
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So watch these. Watch these curses. Read verse 16.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who is cursed in the cities? Who is getting killed every single day in the city, man? Who is cursed in the field? Who is picking cotton? Right? Black people, right? Jump down to verse 31.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain.
Verse 30. Verse 30.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife.
Right. That means you should get a wife, right? A woman. Go on.
And another man shall lie with her.
This happened in slavery. And you can see all throughout slave history movies that our woman was raped right in front of our eyes. Right? That was like emancipating our people, right? What is it called? It's like they trying to make us weak. Right. Yeah, demasculate, right? They were trying to make us weak, man. Knowing that we couldn't protect our women, man. And that's what a man's supposed to do. Supposed to die for our people, our women. And they was raping our wives right in front of us, saying you can't do nothing about it.
Right.
Right? Go to verse 43.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee.
Bro, we don't smoke.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43.
Watch this, brother.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Because we were supposed to be the chosen people. The people that are supposed to be above everybody. But it said the strangers, which are the so-called white man, the Chinese people, the other Africans, right? The other nations, they're going to get above us very high. And what happened to our people?
And thou shalt come down very low.
And we came down very low, right? Now what? We're suffering from oppression. right? We gotta work for our we gotta work just to survive out here, right? Keep going,
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee,
right?
and thou shalt not lend to him.
That means that we don't have nothing of ourselves, right? We don't own anything, right? How can we lend on anything? We got to go to the white man for what? Jobs, loans, right? Read verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
Right? We would serve our enemies, the so-called white man.
which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger
Uh-huh.
and in thirst.
Right? That means what? When you're hungry, you got to serve your enemy, right? When you go to the Royal Farms, when you go to Giants, when you go to McDonald's, all these different restaurants, you serving your enemy, right? You got to go for them for food, right? We don't own the farmers market, right? We don't own our own land to grow our own animals, right? We got to get it from the white man. Read and he said, and if thirst, right? Who own Aquafina, right? Who own Deer Park? Right, all these purified spring waters, man. We don't own none of these companies. The so-called white man, they can just cut your water out,
right,
anytime they want. Turn off your water, right? Especially if you don't pay your water bill, you got no hot water now, right?
And in nakedness, and in want of all things.
And nakedness, the clothes you got on your back, the shoes you got on your feet, the socks you got on, the hat you got on, right? We don't make these things, man. We got to serve our enemies. I mean, we got to go to them and buy all these different items, right? And what?
And in want of all things.
And one of all things, I mean, what? A job, a birth certificate, a death certificate, Slakia, right? A education, and even religion. We got to go to them, man. Right? We got to go to the white man to know about our history, right? We got to go to their educational systems to learn how to do math, to learn history, to learn all these different things, man. When you can go to our own people. Keep going.
Continuing on. Verse 49.
No, it said,
It says, in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
He said he should put a yoke of iron. That means chains around your neck. Our people, we locked up in cells and prison cells now, right? When we had back in slavery, they had chains around our neck. You seen the movie Django before? Right? He had chains around his neck. He was walking like this in the beginning of the movie, man. That's chains around the neck. This is written history. Read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until you forgot your nationality, right? Until he's like, you see the movie, I don't know if you saw the movie Roots, right? When they had to beat Kute Kinte, right? They had to beat him until changing his name, right? They said, what's your name? He kept saying Kute Kinte, right? They said, no, your name is Toby. And they kept beating him until he started saying, my name is Toby. And after that, he grew up calling himself Toby, man. Right? And that's how our people, we forgot our true identity. Now we call ourselves African American, black people. Those names, black is just color, right? We call ourselves after a color of a crayon, right? You can't find black anywhere, right? There's no nationality, no language called black, right? But what you do find is our people call themselves Israelites in the Bible, throughout the Bible, right? We're the real people of the book, man.
That's right.
Right? And when you look at this book and start reading it and start getting the knowledge of it, you start seeing that this is history. This is your people. And it's filled with prophecies and blessings as well when you start repenting and coming back into the Most High. When you start keeping his commandments. When you start putting on fringes, right? When you start keeping the Sabbath days, right? When you start keeping his feast days. When you start keeping his dietary laws. And start loving your neighbors, your brothers, as you love yourself, right? When you put away all the wickedness of this world and reform your mind into keeping the Most High commandments. Reform your mind to saying, I'm an Israelite, brother. You know, I'm not no nigga no more. I'm not what these white men call me, right? I'm a child of the Most High. An Israelite from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin, where you from. He said, look, I'm one of the tribes, man. The kingdom is mine. The kingdom is yours, brother. You just got to go and get it, right? The kingdom is not for all nations, brother. The kingdom for us, you know what I mean? Right? So we got to go out there. We got to work for it. Keep his commandments, right? And his commandments not grievous. We just got to see it and believe it. All right? You got any questions? All right, brother. We just showing you who you are, brother. All right.
I appreciate your time,
More of our information.
Sky, the what?
Azariah King. Azariah.
Yes, sir.
Our information on there, we turn it over. You see our YouTube pages and stuff on there.
We got some emails
right?
on
And
there.
emails on there. If you got any questions, man, we out here, brother. Where you from? You from here?
Yeah.
You be up in Greenmount?
Sometimes.
All right, we'll be out here like on Friday nights, like almost like every other weekend, brother.
Okay.
All right, King.
All praises.
All praises to the Most High.
It's
All
a
we need
mighty
is one,
thing
man.
when a brother sit down
Right,
to
exactly.
actually like soak in the information, man.
Fine.
Because a lot of people they kind of have it go in one ear and out the other. We could tell the brother was a little tired,
Uh-huh.
but he labored and said, you know, and listen, ate the word of the Lord.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this precept real quick. Just lock here. I'm gonna try to find it real fast. Give me Ezekiel chapter 30, 33, and give me Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 31, I believe.
Come. This is the book of Ezekiel. Oh, Salaki. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 31.
Yeah, that's it.
And they come unto thee
Uh-huh.
as the people cometh,
Right?
and they sit before thee
So,
as my people.
like the brother did, he sat before us as his people, man. I pray the brother take heed and get the knowledge, man. Really listen to what the prophets were saying, man. Right? So read it from the top.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 31. And they come unto thee as the people cometh,
Uh-huh.
and they sit before thee as my people.
Right, they sit before thee as my people. Go on.
And they hear thy words,
Right, and they start hearing the words,
but they will not do them.
but some of them would not do them. It's on the brother. You
¿Qué
got
pasó? ¿Qué pasó, amor? Dame 2 minutos.
read that. And they what?
It says, and they
That's
hear
like his fourth time walking back and forth.
right.
Well, the spirit was walking
Right.
through.
and they hear thy words,
Uh-huh.
but they will not do them.
But a lot of them, they would sit down and they would listen, but a lot of them would still rebel, man. Like they would just get up and they'll just go and by their own way forget everything the prophet was saying, man. But I pray that brother was really taking heed and really come back, man.
Uh-huh.
Right? And really believe that the things that we were speaking to him was the truth.